Alright, what I want to talk to you today about is our helicopter we're going to make. So, I have a bunch of stuff going on here. There was lots of animations that was showing, so I'm just going to show you what the final piece looked like. So, hit play. Here's my helicopter. Now, what's great about the helicopter is that I've separated into three components. I have the audio on one layer, the actual spinning component on another layer, and the static on another. I'm going to show you how we can do that step by step. So, in a brand new Flash file, I'm making three layers. The spinning component, the helicopter, and the audio. Now, if you go online and Google a vector helicopter, you'll grab a quick helicopter like this. Now, obviously, this helicopter is way too big for my scene, and I could try and shrink it, but the problem is that I'm still going to have all this white stuff around it that I don't actually really want. So, because I searched a vector helicopter, it gave me a bitmap. Now, if you found a different one that wasn't a bitmap, you could convert it to a bitmap. But once it's already a bitmap, you can trace the image, and if I hit OK, it will trace my helicopter right in. So now if I click off of it, I can click just the white component, delete that, grab the white in here, delete this. I also no longer want this part of the spinning because I'm going to make my own animation. So you can choose to drag over and delete, or grab the eraser and delete, because now it's all separate. Now all the little watermarks you see, those are all editable as well. So if you want to grab your paintbrush and grab some black paint, you can paint right on top of the watermarks and kind of neaten it up so that they disappear. Okay, so you can kind of like make it your own. Now, what I want to do with that is have my helicopter kind of in one place. Why is my computer being super slow? Hold on one second. So, if I grab the helicopter, I'm going to resize him and have him in one place on my screen. Okay, and there's still some white I can see in between here, so if I grab my cursor again, I can select those little white components. Why that's important to delete in between is if I want to have a nice background picture of the skyline, it will come through those pieces and it will look like I made the helicopter more myself. So I want my helicopter to be there for 50 frames. So at frame 50, I'm going to insert a frame. Again, I didn't change anything with the helicopter. I didn't extend it, make a new starting point. I just let the life be longer. Okay, so there's no ending point. It's just a longer life that we see the helicopter. I'm going to lock that layer because I'm done with it. The next thing I want to do is I want to grab some audio and put it on my audio layer. And if I go to Google, I can literally type in free helicopter sound effects. SoundJ is a good, reliable website. So if I go to SoundJ, I can preview different helicopters by hitting play. Okay, it sounds like a helicopter starting off. Maybe I don't want that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the MP3. It's going to pop up to the top of my Safari browser. And then it's going to probably load in my iTunes because everything wants to open. From there, what you're going to do is just make sure you know where that's saved. So I actually like to open it up and see where the heck did this go. And I can see that it's on my desktop. So desktop, and there's my helicopter. So if I go back to Flash, I can import to my library, and I can go to the desktop and locate my helicopter sound effects. Helicopter. Free helicopter sound effects. Ooh, my goodness. Desktop. Thank you. Oh, what was it called? And when you forget what it's called, like I just did, always go back. Helicopter flyover. And I added two L's. That's why I was getting lost. So back to my Flash. H-E-L-I. Copter. Why, hello, helicopter sound. Where are you? There it is. Alright. So it's now in my library. I can double click it to go into it and see the waveform. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag it to this keyframe right here. So grab my helicopter flyover and drop it on that keyframe. Nothing happens because it wants to actually be on the stage. Now you'll see you'll have your waveform right there. I want it to be for the length of my helicopter. So if I enter my frame, you'll see that I have the waveform for the whole length of my helicopter. So hit play. Awesome. So, one thing to note is that sound effects have their default length of time. So what you'll have to do is I'm going to have to figure out that I want 50 frames. If my frame rate is 24 frames per second, I only want it for 2 seconds. So I could bring this clip into Adobe Audition or GarageBand and chop it down to 2 seconds. The next component I need is my spinning helicopter. So on that frame 1 at spinning, grab a line, whatever color you'd like it to be, whatever size, whatever style. All of these options are there for you. And I'm going to draw a line, right? Now, obviously way too big. So I can actually change the size of the line to make it be less daunting. There you go. Something that's important is that the center point, see how there's that dot in the center? That needs to be aligned to the spinning point. Now, if you're not sure if it is, grab your free transform tool and you'll see that white dot. Wherever the white dot is where it's going to rotate from. I want to rotate from the center of the helicopter. Now I would like to script it that I don't have to do rotation, 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 rotation here. I want to just do 3 and be done with. And what that looks like is if I actually click into my spinning thing, you'll see I have a new symbol created and I have my up, down, up, right? So I have my complete spin. So if I go back to our new file here, I'm going to right click the top layer. I'm going to convert it to a symbol. I call it spinning. And if I hit OK, it takes me to a symbol entity and I can double click it. Now I see I'm no longer in my scene, but I'm in my spinning and I have a brand new timeline. So I could label this if I want spinning, frame 3, insert a keyframe, frame, sorry, now I'm going to rotate it and I want it to go down, that. And then if I go back to frame 1, I can actually right click, copy the frame, go to frame 5, insert keyframe, and now I get that kind of full rotation. And what am I going to do to make it all look like a fluid motion? I'm going to select all my frames, right click, and create a classic tween, and I will get a fluid turn. Oh, that's funny. This one didn't paste the right information. Right click, copy frame, paste frames. There we go. Alright, so I have my rotation there. So what I'm going to do is if I go actually outside of this now, you can't see anything happening. My helicopter spinning wheel actually just disappears after frame 1. I need to extend that, so if I go to frame 50, right click, insert keyframe, wrong, insert frame, and you'll see that I have my spinning helicopter. So again, audio is way too long. So I am going to show you how we can change that. If I save that for a sec, actually cancel, no, we're fine. I'm going to go to my applications. I'm going to locate Adobe Audition. And this is an audio editing program that Adobe makes, which we'll be making a whole broadcast on shortly. But I just want to show you what this quickly looks like. I make a file, new multi-track session. It gives me a brand new file type. I'm going to call it helicopter. Okay. And here is where I'm going to actually start importing this. My screen looks really funny. I'm just going to reset Essentials so it doesn't look as daunting on you. Yes. Okay. I am going to import that same audio I was using. So import file, go to my desktop, helicopter, flyover. It gets dropped into my project panel here, and the helicopter session represents this file type here. The helicopter waveform represents my audio clip. I can drag it in, and here is where I can start actually editing it. So I can see that my clip is much longer than 2 seconds. I like when things play. What I can do is I can actually cut it apart. So I don't want all this tail end here. I can actually change it to disappear. So if I grab my knife tool, I could cut it back where I don't want it. And it cuts it, and then I can delete everything after that cut once it decides to cut. I wish there was a pause button on this video recorder. You would not have to wait with me. When it's cut, I'm going to go back up to this tool here and select the second part and delete it. Having this funny feeling that my program is frozen. See if I can delete other things to make more space on my computer. Oh, no, it's decided it's force quitting. So, let's do that again. I'm just going to close stuff I'm not using so that it's not going to run into crashing again. QuickTime I have to keep open because that's how I'm actually recording this file. Okay. So, let's close all this jazz. This fun. Go back to my applications and reopen that Adobe Audition. We'll do it again. Woo. So, I want a new, I can see, oh, my helicopter's there. Wonderful. Grab my helicopter. Workspace, reset, default. Project panel's gone. Yes. Alright. Helicopter, bring it in. And here I'll be able to play if I want, and I should play. I love when things are silly. I want to stop it. See if we can just cut it anyway. So if we grab the razor tool, I can cut it. Now, thing to note, if you add it, as you see there, if you click right on that, it's going to add a node, so make sure wherever your line is, you're cutting above the blue line, and it will separate it. And then I can grab my default cursor and delete the part I don't want. Now I have a shorter clip, and I can actually export that song. So it's actually called export. Multi-track mix down, because that's what we made. And then we want the whole session of what we made. And I think my computer is going to crash again. And once you've exported that song, you'll be able to import the song you want as the MP3 file. Sorry, it's being so silly. And then that's it for your 3-layer animation. You would just bring that audio back in. Hope that helps.